girl Chelsea-Alana and welcome back to my channel. This video, I'm gonna try not to make it long. I'm gonna make it kind of short only because I have to go pick up my stepson from school in about 40 minutes. But I knew I had to make this video because I'm in the process of getting ready. I don't know when I'm gonna edit this. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but I'm in the process of getting ready to announce something and like my journey with this new thing. Something is coming up that is not hurting, but it is creating like a bit of a interesting kind of foreshadowing of what's going on in my life right now. And so before I just jump in and say, hey, this, that, and third, blah, 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 and this is what happened, I kind of have to give the backstory. A few people have asked me about it and I haven't lied. I just haven't been forthcoming with all the information. So I'm like, let me just give this video its own video and let me just put it all out there. So another thing that I want to say is shout out to Doct Morelli. I'm going to be using their facial scrubs and different products. Make sure to check out the description links in the box below. This is their hydrating face mask, which brightens, hydrates, repairs with hyaluronic acid. It's medical grade skincare. It's pretty self-explanatory. This is the vitamin C serum for face and eye, and it's oil free. I have to really get back into my skincare because my skin has gone to, my skin has totally did a 180, and when I explain why and what's been happening, you'll understand why. And I just haven't been feeling in the best mood, so I haven't been doing like my super girly skincare with my hair, with my nails, anything. Okay, so next we have the exfoliating polish. Let's get started. So there has been a few rumors that have been told about me in regards to my body. They were created by a hating, jealous, insecure person. And in the beginning, when people would say it, you know how when a lie doesn't really hurt you and it doesn't really like do anything against you, you kind of just be like, okay, whatever, and just keep it moving. You think it's funny. One of those lies was when someone said that I got a BBL. The reason why I kind of let that ride out for so long and was so hush-hush about whether or not I got BBL or work done was because I did battle with body dysmorphia and an eating disorder for a very long time. And so when my body finally got to a place where I knew it was healthy and it looked good, the comments about if I got a BBL, if I got this done, if I got that done, I kind of let it go because for a long time, the narrative was very different. I was fat friend, the big funny friend. The narrative was different, so I just let it rock. I really did. But then, you guys ever have those friends where they'll say something to you, to your face, and it sounds like they're complimenting you, but then they'll go behind your back and they'll say the same thing, but the tone is different. Like when you said it to me, it was a compliment, it was bigging me up, it was making me look good. But when you said the same thing to someone else, it was like you were insinuating something or you were trying to like expose me in a way. So like real stupid. And so once I realized that, I didn't like it anymore. And then it started to irritate me. So Doct Morelli comes with a lot of brightening apps. Okay, in 2020, I got a gastric sleeve. Then another reason why I wasn't very forthcoming with it was because when I went and got it done, I didn't tell anybody. My mom didn't even know until the doctors called her to let her know I got out of surgery, okay? And she was like, excuse me? And so when I got back and I told people what I had done, they kind of made it seem like it was really, really bad and super taboo, and they kind of made it seem like I was doing something illegal. But now that I'm older and I'm well-traveled, I know a lot of those opinions, especially from older people, is just ignorance. Truth be told. Back in 2020, well, even before then, I'll say 2018, I was dating my boyfriend, who I was dating at the time for over 8 years. He owns, I've said this a bunch of times, he owns a very, very popular, famous, celebrity-based Southern restaurant. And so when his mom opens it up, we would eat there every day. Every single day, I was eating there. I was having a good time because food was free. If she needed help, I would help her as well. I'm putting this on my scrubby pad. I'm also gonna have, I forgot the name of this, but I also am gonna have the information about where I got this scrub pad from as well in the description below. I would help her, and so long story short, I started gaining a lot of weight. But my body dysmorphia really started when I was in high school, because a lot of people don't know, I have an older sister. She's 11 years older than me, and she is a fashion model. Yeah, she's done print work, she's done runway, and she is almost 40 and still the same size as when she was in high school. She's light skinned with pretty eyes, and she's super skinny, always had a petite body. She never had braces, always had like a perfect white crest smile. And I was always a little bit curvier, a little bit thicker. Like, I had double D's in high school. And so because people were always comparing me to my sister, because that's my sister, we lived together, we went to the same schools and everything like that, people would always compare us. It kind of gave me a lot of insecurities, because I'm always being compared to this 5'7", size 2 girl who's gorgeous and pretty and this and that, and I'm just the ghetto loud, dark skinned, big booty, big tittied girl, and it would always just make me feel really insecure. So even before I got to the level I did that prompted me to get a gastric sleeve, I already felt insecure about my weight. I was going, throughout my time dating that boy, I would always ask him, like, am I getting weight? Am I big? And one thing about him, he used to cheat on me habitually. He's cheated on me with rappers. He's cheated on me with IG models. He's cheated on me with bottle service girls, whatever. You've seen models, like, you've seen them on the Shade Room. You've seen them at the Grammys, the BET Awards. They're on television. Like, those are the girls he used to cheat on me with habitually. And I used to catch him and be so upset. But then because, like I said, I knew I didn't look like those girls. I knew I wasn't popping like those girls. I knew I didn't have those bodies like those girls. I would always think in my head, like, why does he want to be with me? Because I would break up with him and he would just always come back and always beg to come back. And I'm like, go be with the girl that's on Love and Hip Hop right now. Like, she's so popping. Go be with her. And even though he would treat me a certain type of way, he never made me feel like that. Like, he would always be like, that's not what I want, you're everything, whatever. And so I was just like, okay, cool. And then also, we dated since he's 4 years older than me. I started dating him when I was 14. So when you're in that long of a relationship, for the both of us, it's kind of like a dependency thing at that point. So I was dependent on him, he was dependent on me, like, we just wouldn't let each other go. But because he was always cheating on me with these BBL girls, there was the insecurity, like, okay, this is clearly what he's interested in. And you know me, pick me, he know where home is. I'm like, let me go and get a BBL. My homegirl goes to DR, she gets a BBL. I'm like, if you don't die and you come back and you're fine, then I'll go right after you, because the BBLs are cheap. They've always been cheap. They're like $5,000-$6,000. You put it on credit, you put $2,000 down, and then you pay $444 a month. Anybody can afford a BBL. Okay, girl. Answering that TikTok videos that I did that went viral. She comes back and she's great, and I'm like, okay, good. She had a good experience, so now it's my turn. I'm gonna go talk to the doctor. So we had a virtual consultation. The doctor is looking at me and he's asking me, like, how many kids do I have? I'm like, oh, I don't have any kids. And he's like, how much do you weigh? And in 2020, I weighed 220 pounds. Big mama, not the little one. Okay, I was and so the doctor was like, you don't have any kids and you're this young and you are 200 and something pounds? I'm like, yeah. He was like, what diseases do you have? I said, diseases? I got offended. I said, what do you mean diseases? I don't have disease. What are you talking about? And he was just like, when's the last time, like, you had a physical? I was like, oh, I have a physical all the time. He's like, but when's the last time, like, you had your blood work done? I was like, I never really had any blood work done. He's like, okay. Before I can even consider you, because he told me straight up, he's like, your BMI is like 36, 37. He was like, technically you're morbidly obese. And I said, obese. He said, if you continue on this path, you're gonna be like 300 pounds by the time you're 30. He said, I can't give you a BBL. And I'm like, there's girls who are way bigger than me who has had BBLs. Like, what are you talking about? He was like, but they've had kids, they're taller. He was like, you shouldn't be this size at all. He was like, if you do, if everything comes back clear, you gotta lose like 30 pounds. And I'm like, if I lose 30 pounds, then I'm not getting a BBL because clearly I could do it myself. Anyway, so I go to the doctor. I asked for blood work and all this other stuff to see how everything is going. The doctor comes back and says that I'm diabetic. I had type 2 diabetes. And I said, what? He's like, yeah, you're diabetic. You have high blood pressure. Like, I noticed like my feet swelling. Sometimes like my vision will go blurry. But other than that, I would pee a lot, but I just didn't really think that anything of it. And so the doctor was just like, yeah, like, girl, what's been going on? Like, you need to go on a diet. I think I was like, I wasn't full diabetic. I was like just coming out of pre-diabetic. So I think I was like at a 9%, and I had to get it back down to a 6% for something. Don't get me, I don't know, don't get me lying. So once I found out that I was diabetic, of course, the doctor in DR gets the blood work. He's like, no, there's no way, I'm sorry. Like, we're not gonna be able to take you on as a candidate. And I was so embarrassed because I had already told all of my friends, like, oh yeah, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. And they're like, oh, when's your surgery? I'll go with you. All this, and I'm like too embarrassed to tell them that I'm so fucking fat. I can't even get a video. Don't mind me. I was very depressed. I tried doing the workouts, I tried doing the dieting, and I actually started watching a documentary. And it was a documentary talking about like Ponzi schemes and MLL schemes, and it was talking about this like leggings company, like these white women who were selling leggings on Facebook, and they were like spending thousands of dollars in hopes of making hundreds of thousands. And so one of the women were talking about how in the Facebook group, the leader of the MLO said the only way you can really sell is if you look good, you look the part. And so she took a group of their top sellers down to Tijuana, Mexico to get a obaric ball, which is where the doctor inserts a tube in your mouth and blows a bubble in your stomach as a way to take up the space in your stomach. The woman was like talking about her experience and meeting this one woman, and they all got the same surgery, and that she said that some of the women actually got sick and one of the women died. And I was like, ooh. I'm super nosy, so after documentaries, I usually go search it up to see how true it is. And so I searched hospital that the women went to, and I searched on the woman that died. And I looked at her family, I looked at the Facebook posts or whatever, and then other stuff started coming up, like gastric sleeves in Tijuana for $4,000, $3,000. And so I was like, okay, I heard about the ball, what is a sleeve? And so I started doing some research, and I found this Facebook group in Mexico called Mexico Bariatric Center. And yes, I will have the information in the box below. So I researched it, I added myself to the Facebook group, and I started reading all of the posts about the people, how they went, how they lost all this weight. People were losing like 100 pounds. I was like, oh my God, like how did this happen? What is the gastric sleeve? So for those who don't know, gastric sleeve is when the doctor do a laparoscopic surgery where they basically take out 60% of your stomach. And so I'm like, ooh, that's too much for me. I'm not gonna remove 60% of my stomach to the size of a medium banana. I was like, ooh, that's a lot. But I started reading everything, and I started just getting more and more inspired. So I went and I did a consultation on Zoom for Mexico Bariatric Center. They told me the same thing that the doctor in DR told me. They said that with all of my health problems, that I was too big to get a Overa ball, which is the balloon, and that they would have to a sleeve surgery. And so I was really scared about that because I'm like, taking out 60% of my stomach is OD. But I talked to the doctor, and the doctor basically just said, it's gonna save your life. He said the same thing that the doctor in DR said, the same thing that my doctor in New York said. If you continue on this path, you will be well over 300 pounds by the time you're 30. And I was just like, damn. And he's like, you're gonna have more problems. And so the gastric sleeve was a little bit more expensive. I think it was like $6,000 compared to the ball and compared to BBL. So I'm like, I'm not gonna pay extra. So the doctor said, why don't you see if they'll do it in America for free if your insurance will cover it. So I called my insurance company, and they basically just let me know that because I didn't have any immediate issues with my health, meaning no near-death experiences or whatever the case may be, they weren't going to cover it. And that if I paid for it out of pocket in America, it would have been over 10,000 buckaroos. So I'm doing all this research, and I'm not telling anybody, mind you. I'm just like, I'm not telling my boyfriend, I'm not telling my mom, I'm not telling anybody. And so I just decided, I just woke up. I'm just so tired. I'm so sluggish, and I was so scared about the diabetes because my dad has diabetes, and my grandmother died from diabetes. She had to be on dialysis. And so I'm like, yo, this is like a real like thing. Like, I cannot ignore this. So I went, put down the down deposit, and within 6 weeks, I went on a vacation by myself, which I often do. And I went to Tijuana, Mexico, and I got a gastric sleeve. The process took 2 days, no, 3. 1 day was getting there, taking all your blood work and your vitals and everything like that, and drinking the soup. Day 2 was the surgery. The surgery took they said, oh, it'll take about 30 minutes. They recorded my whole entire surgery. Like, you see me, mouth open, tubes in my belly, my insides on the screen. So they didn't cut me up open all the way. They just put like these little claw tubes inside. My surgery took 26 minutes. When I got out, I was given medication. I was given a nurse. I had a private room. The room was ugly, but I had a private room. The only thing that hurt was when they had to take out like this bubble full of blood out of my rib cage. That's the only thing that hurt. Everything else, I mean, I was high and I was asleep. The next day, we do the final checkups. We do the walk around. We do this, go to the bathroom, see how everything is. And then they drove me across the border, put me on a plane, and I was back in New York. That's what happened. Now, this is where the discrepancy comes in when it comes to getting a gastric sleeve. When I went there and I got on the scale, I was 220 pounds. After my surgery, I got on the scale, I was 223 pounds. Over the course of 2 years, I'm not gonna count this year because when I tell you why, you'll know why. I lost almost 100 pounds. The lowest I've gotten down to is 128. So from 220 pounds, I got down to 128. Yeah. By the time I got down to 128 and I got to see what my face looked like without the fat, that's why everybody used to say I had fillers in my cheeks. I don't have fillers in my cheeks, I have fillers in my lips. They used to say I had all this stuff done. I have fillers in my lips and I have Botox in my forehead. That's it. The crimson chin, natural. High cheekbones, natural. When I saw how my body looked, I mean, I felt like I didn't need a BBL anymore. I liked the way I looked. I was like, I look good. I didn't need it. Like, the skin was saggy, the breasts were saggy, whatever the case may be. The booty was fat, the stomach was flat. You know what I mean? And so I looked good. And so people have asked me in the past what I did and stuff like that. And the reason why I don't contribute all of my success to the sleeve is because when I got off the table, I was still obese. had to do portion control, I had to diet, I had to work out. I still feel like even though the sleeve helped me, it gave me a boost, I did the work myself. So when I did portion control or intermittent fasting or doing workouts or Pilates or whatever the case may be, I was really doing that. I really lost the weight the way I was supposed to. I just needed like an extra boost, like just a little bit of extra help. And I didn't think that that was so like bad or weird or whatever the case may be. So that's all I have to say. That's all that happened. So like I said, I'll have all the information and everything in this description box below. I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I'll be back with another one very, very soon. Dame besos.